On the television show The Bold and the Beautiful, there is always a plot twist waiting around every corner. And this time, Bill Spencer is the one who is at the center of the drama. As someone who is well known for his daring actions and ruthless business strategies, Bill's next step is one that no one anticipates. Bill makes a decision that is unexpected after he comes across a letter that was written by Yuna. The letter is a strange message that is full with words that come from the heart, profound secrets, and possibly even confessions. Not only does he not conceal it for safekeeping, but he also does not reveal its contents. Instead, Bill makes the decision to burn Yuna's letter, which sets off a chain of events that has the potential to disrupt lives and cause his loved ones to question his motivations. Yuna's letter, the uncovering of reality. During a private time, Bill discovers the letter, which is concealed within a stack of other documents that are located in his office. While he was in the process of arranging things and getting ready for another significant revamp at Spencer Publications, he came upon an envelope that was addressed to Dearest Bill. On the inside is a message that was written by hand, with the calligraphy being exquisite and the words flowing in a way that conveys a profound emotional connection. Bill recognizes the handwriting as that of Yuna, a lady with whom he had a troubled history and whose departure had left a vacuum in his life that he had not spoken about. Bill's normally icy demeanor begins to waver as he continues to read. The things that Yuna says are personal and disclose things that she would never have the bravery to convey to someone face to face. She talks of a connection that she had felt for a long time, one that she was unable to deny, as well as feelings that she had never discussed with anybody else. Nevertheless, there is something more sinister as well. Secrets that she had concealed and facts that she had not deigned to divulge. Her statements touch on something that Bill had not anticipated. She makes a suggestion that she has made a personal sacrifice by implying that she has chosen to remain silent about something that is extremely important in order to protect him. In spite of the fact that she is expressing her emotions on the page, she does not provide all of the information, thereby maintaining a sense of mystery. A brief period of exposure to risk. The act of reading the letter presents Bill with a unique opportunity to be vulnerable. Being in charge, keeping his emotions in check, and managing people like chess pieces on a board are all things that he is accustomed to doing. However, Yuna's words evoke something within him, a recollection of the time they spent together, as well as a reverberation of what may have been. Bill is experiencing a sense of weight as he concludes the letter. Although he is aware of Yuna's intentions, he is also conscious of the fact that her revelations have the potential to shake up his world if they were discovered by anybody else. Bill is a guy who takes great pride in his power and reputation, and the secrets that Yuna has been keeping from him have the potential to reveal vulnerabilities that he has been concealing for many years. Simply thinking about it causes him to feel uneasy, and it is precisely this unease that gives rise to a strategy. The choice to destroy in question. Bill feels a growing feeling of urgency as he mulls over the various possibilities available to him. If the letter were to ever fall into the wrong hands, he is aware that it may be used against him in certain circumstances. There is a brief moment when he contemplates putting it away or confronting someone who is close to him, such as Liam or Wyatt. But he quickly dismisses the idea. The letter is private and intimate. It contains information about his background that he is not willing to discuss with anybody else. With that, he settles on a choice. The mail must be discarded. In addition to the fact that the possibility of anyone discovering it is too high, he is not willing to allow a shadow from his past to influence his future. Bill takes a deep breath before making his way to his fireplace and flicking the lighter that he is holding in his palm. His hesitation is accompanied by a brief moment of watching the little flame dance. Afterwards, he holds the letter over the flames and observes as the paper begins to catch, curling and turning black at the edges. At the same time as Yuna's words dissipate into smoke, her feelings and secrets vanish into the air, as if they had never been there in the first place. As the consequences come to light, the fact that the letter was destroyed, however, does not negate the impact it had. Even though Bill is unaware of it, his decision has already caused events to take place. Yuna's presence had been present in the background of Bill's existence, and her letter was not only a souvenir, rather, it was a reminder of a promise that she had honored, as well as a truth that she had chosen to keep. Later on in that week, Bill finds himself taking part in a number of talks with the people who are in his immediate vicinity. Both of his sons, Wyatt and Liam, see that something is not quite right. The manner in which Bill has been behaving has become more clandestine, and he has become more distant in his eyes. Their objections are dismissed by him, but Wyatt and Liam are certain about their fears. They have a deep-seated awareness that their father is keeping something from them. The truth is that Bill has not found peace as a result of the destruction of the letter. The thought of what Yuna might have wanted him to comprehend is something that he can't stop thinking about. Was her message intended to serve as a warning, a means of providing him with closure, or was it an attempt on her part to expose something vital that he required to be aware of? Involvement of Ridge and Brooke in action. In the meantime, Ridge and Brooke, who have been coping with their own issues, find themselves inadvertently enmeshed in the emotional consequences that Bill is experiencing. During an accidental encounter, Brooke, who is known for her keen perception, notices that Bill is feeling tense. She asks him a few gentle questions, since she has a feeling that something big has changed in his life. "I've noticed that you've been carrying a lot of weight, Bill. Have you been?" Brooke asks in a low voice. Although Bill laughs and dismisses her worries, Brooke's remarks continue to remain in his mind. As soon as Ridge becomes aware of the talk, he begins to feel suspicious. He is aware that Bill has always had a troubled history, and he anticipates that this presents a chance. The fact that Ridge is concerned about Bill's recent behavior is not the only thing that worries him. He is also curious about any secrets that could reduce Bill's influence and possibly swing the power balance in his favor. Ridge is motivated by a combination of rivalry and curiosity, and he investigates Bill's past in a covert manner. In an effort to find any connection to Luna, he begins trying to get in touch with people he knows in common. In the event that Bill is concealing a vulnerability, Ridge is resolved to discover it. A reveal that was not anticipated. In the meantime, Wyatt and Liam are conducting their own investigation, which brings them closer to discovering the truth about the mystery letter. Ridge is going back in time. They remember a woman named Yuna, who had been close to their father many years ago, but had abruptly departed her relationship with him. When they start asking questions, Bill finally concedes, albeit with some reluctance, that there was something special about Yuna, a connection that he had never really recognized up until this point. Even though Bill has destroyed the letter, he has come to the realization that Yuna's influence on his life has not been eliminated. Her comments had been a trigger for him to confront aspects of himself that he typically kept concealed, and despite the fact that he destroyed them, he was unable to erase the feelings that they had stirred up. The decision that he made on the spur of the moment causes him to feel sorrow, and he wonders what Yuna might have wanted him to learn. There is a new way forward. In the end, Bill's actions force him to confront a facet of himself that he has been ignoring for a very long time. Even in its ruined state, Yuna's letter exposes facts about love, regret, and vulnerability that he had previously concealed from himself. He is confronted with questions regarding the person he has become and the people he has hurt along the road. He finds himself struggling with these problems. At the end of the day, Bill confides in Wyatt and Liam, letting them in on his remorse over Yuna's leaving, as well as the decisions he took out of fear and ambition. It is the first time that he allows his sons to see him to be more than a strong businessman. He allows them to perceive him as a guy who has been hurt and who bears scars from his past. Neither Liam nor Wyatt anticipated that this particular incident would bring them closer together and establish trust between them. As we move forward with resolution, it is a mistake that Bill will not forget easily, but the decision to burn Yuna's letter ultimately acts as a turning point in his life. Instead of pretending that the past does not exist, he starts to address it, allowing himself to process feelings that he has repressed for a very long time. By acting in this manner, he is able to build his relationships with people who are closest to him and acquire the ability to prioritize openness over secrecy. And even though the letter is no longer in existence, its influence continues to be felt, serving as a constant reminder to Bill that there are some things that cannot be easily removed. The act of destroying the letter was more than simply an act of control for Bill Spencer. It was the beginning of a journey that he had no idea he needed, a voyage that would permanently affect the way he views himself, his family, and the world around him. On the bold and the beautiful, family secrets and complicated relationships are the norm. This time around, the dynamic duo of Steffie Forrester and Ridge Forrester, Steffie's father, find themselves confronting a secret that has the potential to change everything. Steffie discovers a side of Ridge's background that she was unaware of when she comes into possession of a secret document. This side of Ridge's past has the potential to permanently impact their lives, as well as the power dynamic at Forrester Creations with its revelation. Steffie, a resolute leader and Ridge's cherished daughter, is caught between her allegiance to her father and her desire to safeguard Forrester Creations at any cost. Steffie is a strong leader. Concurrently, Ridge is struggling with the decision of whether or not to address his history or to keep it buried. Steffie and Ridge are forced to reevaluate everything they believed they understood about love, loyalty, and legacy as a result of the facts contained in the document, which contain answers that neither of them anticipated. In the shadows, a discovery was made. When Steffie is working late one night, she is reading through an old set of company files in order to be ready for a significant investor meeting. This is the moment when everything begins. While she is going through the documents, she finds a folder that is shabby and dusty and is labeled confidential. Inquisitive, she opens it, anticipating that it may contain old business documents or contracts that have become obsolete. However, what she discovers instead is a shocking discovery, a document that describes a financial arrangement that Ridge signed many years ago. The document is a contract that contains a condition that may perhaps cost Forrester Creations more than money. Forrester was going through a difficult financial moment, and the paper suggests that Ridge made a deal with an unknown investor to obtain a significant amount of money for the company. There is, however, more. If specific requirements are satisfied, the investor is granted the power to make critical decisions on the future of the company, decisions that have the potential to overturn both Ridge and Steffie's authority. This right is stipulated in the contract. The repercussions of a secret history. In the course of Steffie's reading of the document, she comes to the startling discovery that her father has never disclosed this information to anyone else. Based on the information provided, it appears that Ridge concealed the agreement in order to safeguard both the family and the business. The stipulations have now come back to haunt him, despite the fact that he needed the money to keep Forrester Creations afloat during a difficult era. It suddenly occurs to her that if this investor makes the decision to exercise their rights, they would be able to have the ultimate say on significant issues, which would deprive the Forresters of authority over their own legacy. Steffie struggles to make sense of this information and seeks guidance on how to proceed. Would she be able to confront Ridge? If she wants to protect him, should she keep this a secret? She is aware of how much is at stake, despite the fact that she loves her father very much. The protection of Forrester Creations is of the utmost importance to Steffie, and despite the fact that she is aware that Ridge would never knowingly put the company in jeopardy, she feels betrayed by his lack of transparency. The revelations of Ridge, the reappearance of old scars. The talk between Steffie and Ridge is intense when they eventually confront each other. In the beginning, Ridge is defensive because he does not get the reason why Steffie is so furious. However, Ridge's normally calm manner begins to deteriorate as she continues to convey what she saw and her worries for the future of the organization. Steffie is now under a significant amount of pressure as a result of the weight of his actions, the unforeseen consequences of a decision he made a long time ago, and the load that it has placed on her. A portion of Ridge's history that he has concealed for many years is revealed to Steffie as he opens up to her. He explains that Forrester Creations was on the verge of going out of business at the moment that he signed that deal. He had the impression that he had no other option. In order to avoid losing the business that had been in the Forrester family for an extended period of time, it was imperative that this transaction be struck. However, because he was so intent on fixing everything by himself, he failed to take into account the potential impact that it could have on his children and the legacy that he so fervently desired to preserve. As she listens, Steffie's feelings are conflicted. She is able to empathize with her father since she observes his fragility and the battle he goes through to keep everything together. However, she is also acutely aware of the risk that he took, a risk that may put everything that they have worked for at danger in the event that the investor opted to carry out the terms of the contract. An intense and risky game of power. There is still a lack of clarity on the identity of the investor, which causes Steffie and Ridge to have additional questions. Forrester Creations is under the control of who holds this power. Also, why have they been so silent for such a long period of time? As Steffie continues her investigation, she comes across a few hints that lead her to suspect that the investor in question is a member of the Forrester family. According to Steffie, this investor has been linked to Forrester Creations in ways that were not anticipated. Steffie's spine tingles all the way down as she considers the possibility of a connection to Bill Spencer. However, despite the fact that Bill has always been a competitor of the Forresters, he has also been involved in their life in a variety of difficult ways. It is beginning to occur to her that Bill might be the one behind this, and that he is only waiting for the right opportunity to use his power. If this is the case, then it would explain why he has always shown such a strong interest in Forrester Creations, as well as why he frequently finds himself in disagreement with Ridge. It is intolerable for both Steffie and Ridge to consider the possibility of Bill having control over Forrester, and they are aware that they must a strategy. They make the decision to get in touch with Bill in a way that is both covert and strategic in order to find out if he discloses anything that could validate their suspicions. If Bill is the one who controls that contract, they will need to proceed with caution because provoking him could result in a disastrous outcome. Making a business agreement for the purpose of the future. As a result of the fact that Steffie and Ridge are aware that going directly to the investor could be counterproductive, they have made the decision to hold a meeting with the Forrester family in order to explore their choices. All of the individuals who have an interest in Forrester Creations, including Eric, Brooke, and others, are gathered together and informed of the situation. The family is in agreement that they need to come together and figure out a solution to protect the business, despite the fact that they were first stunned. Steffie and Ridge come up with a strategy to renegotiate the terms of the deal with the investor, which is a surprise turn of events considering the circumstances. Ridge comes to the conclusion that the most effective strategy is to be honest. By facing this investor, he is hoping to be able to negotiate a settlement that will allow Forrester Creations to remain under the authority of the family while also ensuring its safety. After some time, they are able to set up a meeting with Bill, and during the tense confrontation that ensues, Ridge lays everything out on the table. They are relieved when Bill listens to them and acknowledges that he is willing to bargain, despite the fact that he is the one who holds the contract. In spite of the fact that Bill has his motives for retaining this influence, he is also aware that pushing Ridge and Steffie to their limits could result in unanticipated consequences for all parties concerned. A new agreement, a more solidified connection. After a number of hours of discussion and compromise, Bill, Ridge, and Steffie finally come to an agreement. It is agreed upon by Bill that he will relinquish his control in exchange for a strategic relationship with Forrester Creations. This partnership will be mutually beneficial and will not compromise the autonomy of the company. With the knowledge that they have successfully preserved the inheritance for the time being, Steffie and Ridge let out a sigh of relief. Following the conclusion of the ordeal, Steffie and Ridge become closer to one another, thereby exposing the extent of their love and loyalty for one another. In light of the fact that his secret almost cost him everything, Ridge is feeling a sense of humility. From Steffie's perspective, her father is a guy who has made sacrifices, but has also made mistakes. Steffie views her father in a new way. The event has strengthened their friendship, and as a result, they emerge from it more united than they were before. The hidden paper may have come as a surprise to Steffie and Ridge, but it has served to remind them that they are capable of weathering any storm when they work together. The Forresters place a high value on family, and as long as they remain united, they will discover a way to ensure that their legacy is carried on beyond their generation. In addition, they have established new partnerships and alliances, which means that they are prepared to meet any obstacles that may arise in the future.